live, I think. I hope.
I think so.
Still have a few people trickling in. But I saw a meme recently that said there's no reason for people to give 2-3 minutes for everybody to trickle in anymore because everything is recorded and the introduction is 2-3 minutes anyway. So I'm just gonna go. And we do have a lot to cover today. So with that, welcome to our exhibitor webinar for CHFA Now Toronto 2026. I am Irina Costa-Gescu. I am the Director of Events at CHFA, and I am joined by my team. Well, a part of our team. There are quite a few more working on this show in different capacities, but we have 5 of us here today to talk to you about what to do and sometimes what not to do to have a successful show in Toronto. The team will introduce themselves, but I just wanted to mention before we go on that we are recording. It's already recording, and you will get access to this through the website as well as through our exhibitor bulletins. And also, as we go, don't hold on to questions, just throw them in the chat and or in the Q&A, and we'll be checking both. We'll do a little closing Q&A. If you find that your question is not answered, or if you need to follow up with another question, email us at events@chfa.ca. We'll put that on the last slide as well, and I'm sure everybody is familiar with it as well. Without further ado, I'm just going to tell you who's going to be introducing on what, and then the team will be taking it from there. So we've got Cindy with us, who's going to talk about ExpoGenie and the brand new confetti show app, which you may or may not already know about. Then Carrie is going to talk to you about what's in your booth, and also about the exhibitor manual and the resources that we have available. Very important information also from Carrie is information on the union at the Enercare Center. We're a little bit different at this show than other events in Toronto and or Vancouver. Then Carrie is going to continue talking about sampling. Carrie's got a lot of speaking parts today. And then Scott will take over with some tips for success for your exhibitor, for your exhibiting and sponsorship ideas. And then Christina, who is new to our webinars, is going to talk a little bit about the greenhouse. We have about 70 exhibitors in the greenhouse, so hopefully a lot of you are here today. And then we'll just chat a little bit about what's coming up and what's due, like yesterday or in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll do Q&A. So as you can see, it's a very busy session, so I'm just going to pass it to the team to introduce themselves. Carrie.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carrie McIver. You've probably seen my name on a whole bunch of emails coming your way. I'm the event coordinator here. So if you have any questions about kind of what's included in your booth, move in, move out, any of the logistics, that sort of stuff, feel free to reach out to me. And over to Scott.
Thanks, Carrie. I'm Scott Saltz. I'm the Director of Business Development. I take care of things like sales and customer service for the trade shows. Cindy, over to you.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm the marketing manager here at CHFA. I'll just be supporting a lot of our marketing sponsorship opportunities, as well as your go-to for questions about the app, as well as ExpoGenie. So Christina, I'll hand it over to you.
Hi, I'm Christina Hamilton. So I work with a lot of the greenhouse brands to support them and onboard new members. So we're really excited to be launching the program in Toronto.
Cindy, take it
away. All right, I'll kick things off. Yep. So I'll be talking a little bit about ExpoGenie. To those of you who have exhibited with us for the past couple of shows already, you're probably already familiar with this. So I'll just go quickly. Essentially, this is the exhibitor portal where you can book your booth, access resources, and exhibitor related information all in one place. as well as book marketing and sponsorship opportunities, and manage all of your content submissions. So our task list, which I'm sure a lot of you use as your go-to place in ExpoGenie. You can access and view all of your tasks that are organized by deadlines. So things like cold storage forms, food sampling, and if you book marketing opportunities, all of your content submission requirements and all of that stuff will be managed through the task list. And you'll also get reminders for completing those tasks as well. So a few call outs to make. You may still require separate logins for submitting content through our other vendor partners, such as badge registrations through Microspect or vendor forms through Freeman and Enercare. But the task list in ExpoGenie just basically consolidates all of that, so you can manage it all in one place. So that's like a really great tool for you to use. And one of the limitations, though, each company and booth space can only have one user account. And right now that is your primary trade show contact, but more than one person can log in at the same time. So if you are looking to access ExpoGenie, please reach out to your primary trade show contact for those login details. And another thing to note is if you are a brand who is exhibiting with their broker and distributor, you may not actually have access to ExpoGenie because your broker and distributor have chosen to manage all of your tasks for you, which is great. So you just have to check with them to make sure that is the case. There is training videos available on ExpoGenie, so you can check that out in the exhibitor manual. And because all of you are using the same login to access ExpoGenie, this actually gives you access to all the shows you've participated in, which is good if you want to look back at previous shows to see what you've submitted. But it is really important that you choose the correct portal so you're not submitting to the wrong show, which is really important. So check the homepage to make sure the dates are correct for Toronto 2026. And if you do need a switch, just go to your account and go to your shows and select the correct one. And the instructions are also on this slide. All right. And then I'll be talking about something new and exciting that we are launching for Toronto, which is the EventHub show app. So some of you have helped us actually test this. So a few months ago, we had asked a few exhibitors and retailers to test the app just so we can get some feedback on it. And a lot of you have given really positive reviews on it. So we're glad to be launching it for Toronto. And some of the features for this app is that attendees can search exhibitors by categories, name, booth number, view product and company information, and favorite booths. So they can plan out which booths to visit on site and write, send messages to exhibitors, which you can respond to, and add notes. So it's a really great tool for attendees to plan ahead. Our conference sessions will also be in the app where you can register for events or build your agenda. So a really great planning tool for both exhibitors and attendees. And for exhibitors, you will have the opportunity to build your profile so that when attendees are searching you up, they can search you by your company information and learn a little bit more about you even before going to the show. So I'll go over a little bit about how to actually access this and build your profile. So to set up your exhibitor profile, you will need to log in using the credentials sent to you. And the information is on screen, but your primary trade show contact would have received an email last week. And to those of you who are new as an exhibitor who have just booked your booth recently, you will receive an email soon with information to log in. And I will say the login credentials, because it's with Microspect, it's the same login that you're using to manage your exhibitor badges. So same login, but instead of clicking adding badges, you will just click the exhibitor profile button on screen right now to then fill out your profile information. For those of you who are managing other brands, if you're a broker or distributor, your brands will get access to complete their profile after you submit your list to us in ExpoGenie. So we'll use that list to then send that over to Microspec to set up their accounts. And this is due July 20th. So it's coming up. So please submit it in ExpoGenie so that we can make sure they have access to make their profile updates. And we have created a guide to help you step by step on how to set up your profile. It is found in the exhibitor manual as well as on this slide and as well as the onboarding email that you received. So please set up your profile by August 7th. We will be using this information in several places like our show guide, printed and digital, and the exhibitor list on our website. So submit it as early as you can, and that way you'll get the most visibility for attendees when they download the app in August. So August 7th, please complete it by then. I'll pass it on to Carrie.
All right, great. Thanks, Cindy. All right, so what's included with your booth? So in your booth, there is carpet that is provided. You will also have 8-foot high black drapery with the black wall and a 3-foot high black drapery sidewall. Again, all 10 by 10 booths do receive 4 badges per 10 by 10 space. If you do require any extra, anything like that, you are able to purchase that in your Microspec profile just for the additional $30. The booth also does include material handling. So if you are bringing a truck to drop off all of your materials and stuff like that, we will be able to deliver it directly to your booth. And then for those of you who are in the greenhouse area, so the greenhouse seed section, you do have a 1-meter counter with branded graphics and inclusion of your logo and company name. And just a little reminder here to upload your logo in your task list by July 31st. And then for the scale, greenhouse scale, you do have a 4-foot draped table, carpet, and black backdrop, and the side drapes as well. And that includes and both of them do include 2 exhibitor badges. We do, you'll see the little image here where it says your banner here. So you want to make sure, create some excitement and draw people in with your fancy graphics and everything like that. So, and if you do have questions about sizing and height restrictions, you can find those in the display rules and regulations, or feel free to reach out to one of us and we'll be able to help you out with that as well. All right, and next up, exhibitor registration. So Cindy kind of touched on this a little bit with the show app as well. So exhibitor registration, this is all done through Microspec. So you will receive an email from Microspec that has your login link as well as your password. Again, this is only sent to your main trade show contact, and if you do need to share it with somebody, that's perfectly fine, but it is only 1 user per company. If you can't find that link, please feel free to reach out to myself and I can reshare that with you. Now, when you do log in, you will find this is where all of your information is. And because we now have, it may look a little bit different to you guys this year, with a few more boxes in the one little section, you have your exhibitor profile, but where that arrow is, your register exhibitor staff, that will be where you want to register everybody. And that's also where you can purchase your lead retrieval as well. And again, similar to the past couple of years as well, when you are registering any of your staff to for your booth staff and they are looking at attending any of the events, just simply select the gray Add Events button and you'll get a little pop-up and it'll give you a selection of what you'd like to add to that. Now, there are some fees associated with the different areas, so please just keep in mind out for that. Okay, over to you, Cindy.
So we'll be going through a few tools that are available for you to plan your show. And one of the new ones that we created this year is called Roadmap to CHFA Now. So it is a curated guide that breaks down what exhibitors should do and what's recommended from when you book your booth up until show day. So this is a new tool we've created. So always open to feedback, but there is a specific guide for depending on what type of exhibitor you are. So whether you're new and returning, you represent other brands, or if you're in the greenhouse, you can download the one that best suits you and check off things similar to our task list. It's basically a supplementary tool to help you plan your show alongside the task list and ExpoGenie, as well as the exhibitor manual, which Carrie will be going over next.
All right, so the exhibitor manual, it's your key guide to success. So in the exhibitor manual, you will actually find that there's two different locations. So if you are on our chfanow.ca website, you'll go to the Toronto event, and under exhibitor, there is the exhibitor manual tab there. It is also located in ExpoGenie. So you will find it in two different locations, whichever is easier for you. Obviously, if you are the main person with the login for ExpoGenie, only you will have access to the ExpoGenie one. So if you want to share it for brokers and distributors, if you wanted to share it with any of your sublets, then you can just share with them the CHFA Now exhibitor manual link. And that's got everything on there that you need. I know each and every year, one of our big things is I get a lot of emails from everybody. There's so many different scam emails coming out and people reaching out to you, booking a hotel, or they want you to buy services from them, and all sorts of different things. So we just do want you to be very mindful. This list here, it's also found on our exhibitor manual. These are our only official service providers that we work with. So have a look at this, become familiar with them. If for some reason you do, you are kind of unsure of who the person is. I know some people even pretend to be people from CHFA. So if you're weary about some of those, just please let us know. Reach out to me, and I can, I'll be able to let you know if that's a legitimate contact of ours or not. Okay, so once again, this year, proof of insurance. So proof of insurance is absolutely mandatory for every single exhibitor that we have on the show floor. This year, you will notice that the insurance liability amount has increased to $5 million. So when you are on, if you visit our exhibitor manual section under insurance, please do read through that carefully. The $5 million, that's not coming from us. We are being asked for all of you to submit it on behalf of the Anacare Center. They do require it. So when you do submit it to ExpoGenie, I will be downloading every single one of them, and I do have to provide a copy to the Anacare Center and OVG just as precautions and to make sure that everybody's protected. So again, it's not just us trying to say, hey, we need you to fill out another form. It is mandatory in the venue. All right, so moving on to booth displays. We have this fantastic booth display rules and regulations guide that can be found on the exhibitor manual as well. So please do feel free to have a look through that. I really do encourage you to make sure that you check out the different sections that apply to your style of booth. There are certain height restrictions that you must follow, different layouts and everything like that. So please do take a look. If you do have questions, again, or aren't sure if something you want in your booth will meet that criteria, again, please feel free to reach out to myself. I'll just go back one more slide. Sorry, Cindy. So the display rules and reminders. So height limitations, I know, is something that comes up every year. We do, so again, have a look at those graphics in the display rules and regulations. At the standard booth size, any structure, you can't have anything over 8 feet. So same with your teardrop flags, you have to make sure the placement, that they're not hanging out in the booth, that they're not taller. There's no tents and canopies. They also have to meet that 8 feet height limit. Again, there are different size booths that have different regulations. So you may see some larger booths that have something that your booth may not, but please know that they are under different rules and regulations. So if again, there are questions, we do ask you to please reach out to us. We do have our show management team walking the floors, and we will be asking you to adjust the height of anything that is impeding on those limitations. If not, unfortunately, we do have to ask you to remove those products from your display. So just as the little reminder, we want you to just become very familiar with those rules and regulations. And speaking of booths, on the Sunday at 11 a.m., we have our booth awards. So, create the most exciting booth and, add in, get people hyped up, draw people in. We have best booth awards, and they're presented to the best pavilion and large booth, the best medium booth, the best small booth, and then new this year, we also have the best greenhouse booth. So check out the criteria that we have online, and then, yeah, good luck to you all. And then these two slides are just some examples of some pretty great booths that were set up the last couple of years. Okay, so our union rules and move in and move out. So to start off, we will have our shipping, move in, and our marshalling yards. So move in is actually, so this venue is different than for those of you who have attended the Vancouver show. The Enercare Center does not actually have any voyage control. So you don't have to actually submit a form or anything like that. What you will find is, so in the exhibitor manual, as well as in exhibitor bulletins, you will find our move-in floor plan. It is based on, it's all color coded. So you will just locate your booth number and you will have your move-in time zone according to that. Again, that's all found online. It is kind of first come, first serve. And there is the marshalling yard in effect. So we will be directed in according to the marshalling yard will let you in when you are able to. They also have a map of sort of who's allowed in and when they are allowed in as well. There is parking lots that are designated this year. So during move in, move out, parking is free, but this year the Enercare Center has asked that all vehicles must register their license plate prior to the event. If you don't have a parking pass, like they will either ticket you or tow you. Unfortunately, this is something new that they've come up with again this year. So I really encourage you to register your plate online and just be sure that you do have that. Again, we have Cross Connect, who is our official freight and logistics coordinator here. So feel free to reach out to them because you can get your stuff there a little bit earlier, save you a little bit of a peace of mind and have your shipment arrive a little bit earlier as well. All that information, again, is on the exhibitor manual. Cold storage, if you are shipping anything with cold storage, please be sure that you have somebody from your team there. We are not permitted to actually place your products in refrigeration, just due to the rules and regulations. So we ask that your staff are on site and that they must place it in and be checked off by our staff. And again, when it comes to move out, Monday pickups must make sure that you submit all your paperwork at the docks as well. If there are questions about move in, move out, please feel free to reach out to myself. I know I have been in contact with a few different people, but anyways, if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with any questions you may have. Okay, so our union rules for move-in. So again, we mentioned that material handling was covered from to and from your booth, and that's covered by us. With the union labor, the Enercare Center is a union facility. So all of the motorized lifts, material handling equipment, installation, all of that kind of stuff must be done by the union. even things simple as like an electric drill or something like that, that has to be done by the union. If you do require any union labor, that can actually be booked right through Freeman Decor. So on your exhibitor manual, you will see the section that says labor, and it will link you to the Freeman page, and you can ask them for a quote. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to them, and they'll be more than willing to help you out and let you know sort of what's required there. And again, so if you do have, for example, if you have a little dolly, you can use that to carry your stuff back and forth, but just know that it's the pump trucks and other mechanical equipment you are not able to use. Okay, additional rules. So just something simple, no open-toed shoes. That's a big safety concern. So make sure that your toes are all covered. Safety vests are recommended, but they are optional at this venue. And one thing we must stress is that there are absolutely no children on the show floor during move in, move out. During move in and move out, it is we consider it a construction zone. So there are forklifts going by, there's things being built, so it is a huge safety issue. If there are children on the floor, they will be escorted out by security. Okay, and we did kind of touch on this about the pump trucks and the personal dollies. Another note, Freeman does have, you are able to rent the 4-wheel dollies for move in and move out as well at the location. So that'll be all on the Know Before You Go. We'll actually send out a little map with it to let you know where you can find those on the show floor as well. Okay, our union rules for cleaning. So something simple like cleaning and vacuuming. That falls under our union rules, unfortunately. So again, have a look through the, you'll want to visit the exhibitor manual and be sure that you are checking off if you do require any booth cleaning and stuff like that. Make sure that you do check that off because they don't allow any vacuum cleaners or anything like that in the booth for you doing it yourself. And any food prep cleaning, such as wiping surfaces and stuff, that's something that you can do. It's just that any of the vacuuming and stuff like that, you're not able to do. Again, here we are with our AV. So AV, Encore AV is our preferred supplier. So when you are actually when you click the AV section in the exhibitor manual, it will take you to their section. They'll be able to help you. All the information's right on the page there to get you all set up. You can use outside companies, but you just need to make sure that the dismantling from the AV company is done by union workers. The union rules for catering. So catering is exclusive to OVG hospitality. They do not allow any outside catering companies at all. If you do have any samples or anything like that you would like cooked, they will cook it and deliver. So feel free to reach out to Marley. She is our director of catering and sales at the Care Center and OVG. So reach out to her. Any of those kind of questions that you have about having anything prepared, she is your go-to person for that. Full-size sampling is not permitted in the Care Center. And then alcohol may only be distributed by OVG bartenders in the designated celebration locations. So we do not serve alcohol any other time than during the celebration hours. And then we also have an on-the-go cafe, which will be open Friday through Sunday.
Just a quick correction, full-size sampling is permitted inside the Care Center. It's just with certain things, we want to make sure that we're encouraging the attendees to have them at home, such as, for example, cans of beverages and things like that. Anything that basically is being sold at the concession stands. Again, you can give it away, but it's a take-home sample, and you can also sample it in smaller portions at the booth. But yeah, we don't want to encourage the attendees to have it right away.
Thank you, Irina. Okay, next up, everyone's favorite early teardown policy. So we had a couple of years ago, we have put in place our early teardown policy. So our show hours are from 10 till 5. Packing up prior to that is not permitted. So we actually have our team walking around during the afternoon, ensuring that all of the booths are staying up, that there is no dismantling. It's not just, it becomes a safety issue for one, but it also depends on people doing business on the show floor as well. So, it is something that disrupts your neighbors, that sort of thing. So we will be walking around the show floor. We do take pictures of your booths, and we actually do issue fines now. So it is $300 per 10 by 10 if you are starting to pack up early. So, and we do ask that, when our team is walking around and asking you not to pack up early, we just ask you to respect our team members and to treat everybody respectfully. So, and then just one other thing where we're talking about some of our policies, displaying your products and placing products in the washrooms are also not permitted. So just a reminder, if you do place product in there, our team also goes around to all of the bathrooms and will remove those products. Okay. Next up is food sampling. So food sampling, there is the application that you must submit. You'll also find this on your task list. So it will link you directly to the Toronto Public Health vendor application form. So this is where you put all of your information about anything that you are sampling. We recommend that samples be 500 to 1,000 per day, depending on what's being sampled. And be sure that you bring enough sampling products at like this, supplies and enough product that you want people to sample. This is also where we'll touch on about the full-size beverages. So unfortunately, the Enna Care Center does not allow sampling of full-size beverages. So we encourage you to just let the attendees know that they are for take-home. And if they happen to walk away and open it up, that's not under our control. We just ask that they don't do it in your booth. With all of these copies of your food sampling forms, I will be downloading these, and OVG also does get a copy of this. So if for any reason they have any questions about it, you may be reached out to by Toronto Public Health, but you may also have a call or something from OVG. So they just with any questions about what you're sampling and that sort of thing. All right. One of the next big things is our cold storage and ice. So if you are looking for any cold storage rentals, it is first come, first serve. Deadline is August 18th. So we do encourage you to book early. And those are located on the show floor. Again, we ask that you have your staff there to place your items in, but cold storage is open throughout the entire show so that if you need to grab more samples and stuff like that, it's always open. And we do have a team that is sitting there just kind of monitoring the booths or monitoring the cold storage and everything for you. We also remind you not to put any valuables in the cold storage as well. We will also have ice available. So this year for ice, what they have decided to do is instead of ordering directly on site, you can pre-order your ice and then it will be delivered directly to your booth. And then on show site, if you do require any more ice, there will be a station set up that you can order on site as well. All right. Your safe sampling tips. So if you are doing any sort of sampling, please be sure to have a read through on our exhibitor manual. You will find different documents of your safe sampling tips. So please be sure that if you are doing any on-site food preparation, including cooking and reheating, portioning, serving, that you make sure that you read the rules and regulations for that kind of stuff, because those types of things do require a temporary hand washing station. if there are questions that you do have about it, please feel free to reach out to me if you're not sure if you do require one. Again, I can certainly help answer some of those questions for you. A temporary hand washing station is something simple. Think of, you're at a sports game and it's those little beverage fountains that you can get for the kids after the game and stuff like that. Those can be found at Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Walmart, I believe even has them. So have a look for those. And then, so that is your one main source of hand washing station. And then you just have a bucket underneath, that sort of thing. All right. And now I'm going to finally stop talking and hand it over to Scott.
Thanks, Carrie. I appreciate it. I'm going to go fairly quick. We're going to talk about top tips for a successful show. So you've got a lot of information about how to get to the show. Well, how are you going to make it successful? So this is our guiding principles for exhibitors. What products are allowed at the show? Read through it. This is really what retailers are going to be expecting. So positive nutrition, transparency, clean ingredients, etc. I won't go into too much detail on this. Obviously, we do not have alcohol, tobacco, or cannabis products allowed, but within those products that are allowed, read the list. This is what retailers are going to be looking for. Okay, tips for before and during the show. Beforehand, I highly recommend, as somebody who's an exhibitor, to reach out to your retailers, distributors, and brokers and let them know where you're going to be. Let them know your information, the booth number, all of that, and you have available a promo kit to use. There's a link here in the presentation. You can go on social, email, PDF invite, send it out. Don't be shy. Let people know where you're going to be. In your preparation as a brand, understand where you'd fit into a store. If you know that you're going to be talking to stores, specifically certain types of stores, whether it's natural, conventional, mass market, find out where you'd fit so you can have a great combo with them. This one I really like. Train and recruit experts for your booth staff. So if you're going to have people there that are not just yourself as a founder, make sure that they're experts, because 84% of attendees are looking to talk subject matter, not just have samples and try something and move on. Especially at our show, we've got a lot of mavens of the industry, people who are really keen on learning more. Make sure that the people that you hire are subject matter experts and you bring that person to the show. All right, now during the show, this is very important, you guys, you have to be fun. You have to meet them, talk to them, be outgoing. If you're sitting there just looking at your phone, they're probably going to have a vibe that's not so positive. So bring that positive vibe. And I highly recommend, in order to stay in the moment, use the lead retrieval scanner. There's information earlier in this presentation around that. Early bird pricing ends September 11th. Order early, but then you can scan the badge, have notes on it. I used to use this when I was an exhibitor, and it makes that follow-up so much better and so much more enjoyable. You can actually do the work following up, not going through a list of just business cards and handwritten notes. I cannot express how much this helped me. Think about the length of the conversation and the number that you've had as another KPI. If you're just talking to people and they're like, hey, how you doing? And they walk away, that's fine. But if you have good quality conversations with people, if you really could take one conversation to change the whole trajectory of your show and the follow-up thereafter. So think about the length and the quality of the conversation, which goes back to the point about having experts in the booth. Practice and be ready for your short pitch and convo to grab their attention. We'll be having a further webinar later in August for the greenhouse, and it's going to talk a lot more in detail. I'll talk a lot more in detail about those conversations. So I'll kind of skip this one a little bit now, but pay attention to future webinars that we'll be having too. Stay within your booth. Don't solicit outside of your booth. Arrive early, be present until the end of the show. Don't tear down till 5. I personally had a really big sale at, like, I don't know, it was 4:59 or something like that. The last second they were running over to talk to me because they got distracted. Don't leave early. Be present until the end. You're there, you put all this effort into it, stay right to the end and make it quality conversations. All right, Cindy, next slide. Afterwards, follow up. Use that lead retrieval software. It will give you an Excel document with all the information that people put in there, and then you can make notes right on it. It's amazing. Send thank you emails with notes on the discussion points that you had with people. Send information. So if you know that you're working with a distributor, a broker, a brand manager, include them in that follow-up so that your team will grow and help you follow up. It's the one-to-many concept. And then go to a store and visualize where you could fit and why you belong there. So you have a good lead at retailer X. We'll go to retailer X, visualize where you could fit so that as you follow up, you know exactly where you'll be. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities, but you got to follow up afterwards and allow your team to help you with that. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, so beyond the booth, there's a bunch of different things that are available. We've got things like gold and silver sponsorships. If you're thinking about a title sponsorship, I'd be happy to work with you to talk about what that looks like. There's ways to leverage all kinds of different options. Product showcase. These are amazing as people line up to go into the show or they're taking a break. They're going to be looking at what's new, what's hot, and they're going to find this information. You can put things online. You will also be able to show where your booth number is on this or what section you're in. I highly recommend this. This is going to be wonderful for retailers to be able to see, oh, I'm excited about this, now go find you. Okay, so and do it before August because price goes up. We have sampling tables at the show entrance. So as the retailers walk in, you can give them samples and we have availability for Sunday. There's a lot of digital advertising, email and web banners. A lot of people are going to be looking to prepare for the show as far as retailers are concerned. We have that information available. And celebration stations. How do you bring attention to your booth? Well, we've got alcoholic celebration stations, and those of you that have non-alc products, we also have non-alcoholic celebration stations. So you can email our sales team and we'll be able to guide you through any of these things. Thank you, Cindy. All right, new for us in Vancouver was this amazing Christmas area called Deck the Aisles. We have something very similar in Toronto. However, we're putting it front and center. You can see at the bottom of the screen, Move and Thrive activation. As people walk in, they're going to be walking in right to a fun CHFA Hive Retail Solutions collab called Move and Thrive, a summer retail experience. If you have a brand that is a natural, organic wellness item that would thrive for convenience and on the go, everyday performance, Hive is working with us to create this display extravaganza. So imagine a retailer seeing your brand on a shelf display or on a beautiful like end cap display style as they walk into the show. They're looking for ways to plan 2027. And as there's grab and go sales increases that brands can have throughout the summertime, as people are booking their summer plans next year, they could be looking at your brand and saying, wow, I want to see this brand in my store just like this. So Hive, since they're experts in building displays and what they do, we're collaborating with them. Reach out to us. There's more information you'll see. Book by August 31st at CHFA at hiveretailsolutions.com. There's a lot of different things. In addition to that, earlier Carrie was saying, and I was saying too, you can't walk around with samples. Well, Hive is our exclusive roaming sampling organization. So if you want them to walk around and hand your brand full size to a retailer all up and down the aisles and throw it there, reach out to the same CHFA at hiveretailsolutions.com. Thanks, Cindy. All right, Cindy, over to you now.
Great. Yeah, so some other exciting things beyond the booth is our conference and special events. So this is happening on the Friday of the show. It is a great opportunity for learning and networking, and I encourage you to check out our schedule. It will be posted on our website next week. So you can check our website and just keep an eye on that. Our conference pass, this is free if you are a member. So it's automatically included in your exhibitor pass and registration if you are a current CHFA member. If you're not a member, there is a fee associated and prices do increase after September 3rd. So please register ahead of time so you can save. Additional fees do apply for certain sessions. So again, once the schedule is up, you can take a look at that to make sure you can see which sessions require additional fees or eligibility requirements. One note, though, is our Launchpad session that is open to anyone. So if you are registered for the show, you will get access to Launchpad for free. You do not have to pay extra for that if you're not a member. One of the exciting things that we will have on the Friday night after the conference is something we're calling Industry Night Out at the Dome, where we're going to watch the Blue Jays game at the Rogers Center. This is happening after the conference at around 7 p.m. is when it starts. So registration is required. There is a fee associated. There's a link for you to register by September 4th. We already have over 600 tickets sold, so get them before they're gone. Encourage you to register and just join the industry. We'll be taking over part of the 500 section, I think 504. So this would be a really fun way to kick off the first day of the show. So I mentioned this already, but Launchpad. So this is an amazing opportunity if you are a brand with an innovative product and want to really make it shine at the show. You can pitch as part of our Launchpad program and win a prize package designed to help you grow. It includes branding, brand consultation from Brand Naturals, some media opportunity through In Conversation with Bruce Cole, a booth at our next show, as well as a membership for 1 year for CHFA. So a lot of great opportunities through Launchpad. It is one of the most attended, I think the most attended session at our conference, where a lot of retailers are just looking to see what's the new. It is free to apply and the deadline is July 17th. So that's coming up really soon. I encourage you to go on our website and apply if you haven't already. And the winner will actually be announced right after the pitches. So we changed things up. We don't announce it during the awards anymore. It's actually right during the session, right after. So it's really exciting. We can celebrate the winner right after the pitches as well as all weekend long. So something really exciting to look forward to. Speaking of our awards, we have this once a year now in Toronto. It is open to all badge types. So this is another session that is free to attend as long as you have a badge. And it's just an amazing way to celebrate all of our members in the industry who are just doing great things. A lot of amazing innovators as well as leaders. So we're celebrating them all on the Saturday at the awards. So we encourage you to come on out after the trade show ends and join us for a drink and some appetizers. And then Sunday morning, we're bringing back our charity run. A lot of you had a lot of fun doing this last year, so we're bringing it back. It is a morning run, jog, walk that you can participate in. It is friendly for beginners. $10 donation does apply, and all the proceeds go to Second Harvest to support their cause. So if you're interested, you can add this to your registration as well. All right, I'll move it on to Christina to talk more about the greenhouse opportunities.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, at Toronto, we are launching the greenhouse. So this was formerly our Incubator Alley section. So we kind of revamped the program and the booth space. So we're adding some more opportunities for those brands. So it's going to start off on Friday with the Connect and Collab. So that is before Launchpad, so at 3:30, but it is in the same building. So it'll be really quick to get there right after. So the full session is going to be 90 minutes. So it will include some one-on-one mentoring with some experts, and then we'll have some office hours as well. So you can kind of drop in and ask different questions on topics that will help support you. So I'll personally send out that form, and it is available to all greenhouse brands. But just note for that one-on-one mentoring portion, there is limited spaces. So as soon as you receive that form, if you are interested, please just fill it out right away. And then next is our greenhouse pitch garden breakfast. So that's hosted on the Sunday of the trade show. And this opportunity is exclusive for greenhouse scale exhibitors only. So that starts on Sunday at 8:45. So basically we'll have some retailers that will hear about 15 greenhouse scale brands do a 60-second quick pitch. They'll share their brand story, showcase their products, and then invite those retailers to then discover their products at their booth. So again, with this one, I will be personally sending out that registration form just to all the brands that are eligible. And then right after the pitch, we're basically going to invite all those retailers to meet all the brands at the greenhouse when we open the show. So we definitely know that the trade show can be really overwhelming, and pretty much every attendee is going to be in that greenhouse section because they know if they're looking for a new and innovative brand or emerging brand, a startup brand, it's going to be in that aisle. So we wanted to give retailers an exclusive opportunity for 1 hour of uninterrupted time in that aisle. So when Sunday starts, as soon as the show opens, it's going to be full of retailers in that aisle. And then lastly is our greenhouse growth series. So just like this webinar, we want to set up everybody for success in this program. So we've launched this more interactive series. So it's not meant to be kind of like a webinar like this, where you kind of just sit and listen at the topics, but it's more so if you're interested, you register and submit your questions beforehand. And then we'll come together with the experts on the subject matter and all the other greenhouse brands to kind of discuss how you navigate those issues. Many startup companies, they have similar challenges. So the hope is that when people kind of come together, it will start to help bring a community. So that link is available on our CHFA.ca website. And that's all the extra opportunities that our greenhouse brands get. And you'll get all those invites in the next coming week.
All right, so I'm back again. So this next little section, this is just your key dates and scheduled. So all of your important deadlines that are coming up, I just put a link in the chat box for the ExpoGenie task list. So this task list is kind of your go-to thing. It helps you keep track of everything, make sure you have all those tasks done that they're arranged in deadline by their due date and everything. So be sure that you do review that, as well as the roadmap that is new on our CHFA exhibitor manual as well, because that's got the key deadlines and again keeps you all in control. So you also want to make sure that you're scheduling your shipment according to your move-in schedule. Again, that can be found on the exhibitor manual. Make sure that you're following the display rules and regulations when you're designing your booth. For name badges, again, anybody who hasn't received their Microspect login details. I know that there are a few, I do apologize, I'm just getting back from vacation. So there are a few new people that aren't in our system yet, but you will all be in there by the end of the week. And I will personally be sending out, you'll get the link sent out. It will come from Microspect. But if you don't receive that, please let me know by next week and I can reissue that for you. Again, this will be your badges don't get mailed out or emailed out until closer to the show. So not to worry if you don't have them yet, they do get sent out prior to the show. Parking passes, any of our additional suppliers, such as anything in Freeman, your electrical, all of that stuff, be sure to check out those key dates on the task list as well as in the roadmap, because they have certain early bird deadlines. Some of the prices for some of the Freeman stuff actually goes up by 50%. So you do want to make sure that you get that in before, because on-site pricing is pretty crazy expensive. So let's save yourself a couple dollars and get them in soon. Same with, so food safety, make sure that you are sending in your form and observing all of the rules and regulations on any of the food safety and sampling. And again, be aware of the delivery and pickup hours for cold storage and the product showcase if that is something that you do purchase. All those details will get sent out to you with a confirmation closer to the event. And then we will also send those details out in the know before you go as well. And then I am going to pass this back over to Cindy now.
Great. All right. I'm going to close things off very quickly. I know we only have a couple minutes, but just a reminder to submit your product and company attributes. This is now collected in EventHub. So as I mentioned earlier, please submit this by using your login information. And for brands that are or if you're representing other brands, please submit your sublet brand's company information to ExpoGenie by July 20th so that we can set that up. And then again, August 7th is that key deadline to submit all of that information into the EventHub portal. So those are the dates, also mentioned on the screen here. And then one note is there is a new category that I want to call out called Export Ready. So we're seeing more international brands coming to the show, and to help them identify the brands that are ready for export, we have added this category to the company attributes section. So if you are someone who is interested in going beyond exporting beyond Canada, you can add this tag, and there are some requirements that they may require. So for example, 1 million of annual revenue minimum, or and being already available for wholesale purchase. So if you do have those different requirements set up, I encourage you to add this to your attributes, and then they will be able to find you on the show floor. And finally, we do have one more webinar coming up. So this is a new style we're playing around with for webinars. It's a AMA Ask Me Anything. So if there's a question still that you have that we didn't answer, you can always obviously reach out to us, but you can also take this opportunity on August 18th to ask us all of your burning questions, and we will have this interactive forum where we can answer it all for you. So register if you haven't already.
All right. The contact information for us is on that last slide. And I also wanted to mention that we post this presentation as well on our website, not just the recording. If you're like me and have been trying to click on the many links that we put in there, I've done that once or twice in a webinar. So you will be able to actually click on all the links that we included in the presentation once we post it on the website. We don't have any questions right now. Carrie and I have been answering them as they were coming along, but I did want to bring up a couple of them that came up just in case, you know, people were watching and weren't necessarily watching the chat, because I feel like everybody needs to know that information. So one of them was at what time can we start teardown? So teardown starts at 5:01 on, it's 5 p.m. 01 on Sunday evening. And then we had another question about storage. And yes, storage is included. Just be mindful of which label to put on your empty crates or empty pallets or on the pallets that are going into storage. So when you're on site, you go to the docks and you ask them for storage labels. There are storage labels, which are the regular ones, and you put your booth number and that stuff will get returned to you at the end of the show. Or there are accessible storage labels. So that's for things that you need access to. Say, for example, you're sending a pallet of your product into storage and you need to go back and forth and grab more stuff. So that goes into accessible storage to make sure, you know, they don't stack it 4 stories high with the rest of the crates. So those both available at the docks on site during move-in. And as always, we put our information, Carrie and I put our information in the last exhibitor bulletin. So you'll have our contact information for on-site, and you can just reach out to us if there's anything we can help you find on-site. And since I don't see any more questions, I think we can wrap it up. But like we said several times, events@chfa.ca for any additional questions, or join us because you get to see so much more of us this year. Join us for the next webinar on August 18th. And with that, it's a wrap.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.